Hello, this is Kevin Olson from TextLearn.com and welcome to Lesson 5.4 of the Intro to Java series. As always, the link to this topic is in the description, and in this lesson we will be discussing array lists. What is an array list? Well, array lists are an object type in Java which enable us to create basic array type structures with no predefined end. So in other words, they're basically arrays that can grow in size as we need them to. If you remember the last few topics, we discussed arrays and we had to set a fixed size at the beginning when we created the array. Now we don't have to do this with array lists because we can keep adding more elements onto them as we need them to. The array list is imported from the Java Utilities package, and we create array lists with the syntax ArrayList, and then we define what type it is. And note that instead of just typing int in there, we have to type the full name of the data type that we want this to be. So we type out integer with a capital I there. If it was string, we would put string. If it was double, we would put double with a capital D. And then we give the identifier for the array list. So in this case, I am naming this array list my array list. And then we set that equal to a new array list of type integer, and we have our constructor parenthesis brackets there, followed by a semicolon. Key methods for array lists. We will be using the size method to get the size of the array list. This returns basically the number of elements in the array list, so this is pretty much the equivalent for array list of what the length method was for arrays. The get method will get an index. The add method will it will add an element to the array list. The remove method will remove an element from the array list. The contains method is used to search the array list and check if it contains a certain value, and the index of method will return the first index of a certain search parameter. So we'll get into all that now. Let's go ahead and open Eclipse here and start going over this stuff. So I'm going to create a new Java project, and I'm going to call this 5_4. Just click Finish, and we will add a new test class to that. And I clicked the wrong thing there. There we go. New class test ArrayList, and we'll give that a main method. First things first, we'll have to import the ArrayList from Java Utilities.ArrayList. And now we can start working on it. So let's create a new ArrayList. And let's say we want to create an ArrayList and give it some values. So let's do that. So ArrayList, and let's make it an integer ArrayList, equals, I have to give it a name, of course, my ArrayList, equals new array list of type integer, parentheses, semicolon. So that creates our new array list, and we are naming that my array list. Now add some values. We can do my array list. We use the add method, and we can just add some values now. So let's say add 5 to that. My array list dot add, oops, not add all. I always do that. Add 10, so add 5, 10, and 20. Okay, so now we have an array list with the values 5, 10, and 20, and just like regular arrays, they are indexed starting at 0. So the first, or the 0 index, which will be technically the first index, but has the index of 0, will be 5, index 1 will be 10, and index 2 will be 20. The element at index 2 will be 20. That's how I should have said that. Anyway, we can print it out using system.out.println, and this is another great thing about array lists, is that if the data type has a built-in toString method, which integer does, we can just print out the array list and it will print out all the contents of the array list and format them within brackets. So let's print that out, give that a try. And as you can see, we have 5, 10, 20. So that is our array list with the values 5, 10, and 20. So that worked successfully. And the next method I want to discuss is the get method. So let's say we want to get a certain index value from that array list. We can do system out print line, the value at index 1 is plus my ArrayList.get, and then we are going to get 1. So if we print that out, we can see 5, 10, 20, the value at index 1 is 10. So it got that index and it got the integer at that index of 1. Now let's test out the remove method. So we can remove an element from the array list. We do my ArrayList.remove. We're using the remove method. And then we define the index we want to remove. So let's say we want to get rid of that 10 now. We can remove the index 1 and we can print it out, system out print line, my ArrayList. We'll run that and it removed that 10 for us. You can see 5, 10, 20, that's what it had. Then we removed index 1, so it got rid of that 10. And now the ArrayList only has the values of 5 and 20 in it. Last key method for ArrayLists will be the size method. So we can use determine size, system out print line, my ArrayList.size, and of course that will return 3. So if we print that out, we get 3 there for the size of the ArrayList, and that'll be useful when we create loops and things like that. So let's say we want to add 1 to each value in that ArrayList, add 1 to each value. We can do for integer x equals 0, x is less than my ArrayList.size, x plus plus, and then we can go through each one. My ArrayList, and this is a good example, we will also use the set method. And you can see the set method contains 2 parameters, the index and then the element. So we are setting index whatever index we want, and then we are setting the new value in the second parameter. So index will be x, and the element will be my ArrayList.get. We're going to get this index plus 1. So we're getting the value, adding 1 to it, and then setting that value to the new index at x. And let's print that out. System out print line, my ArrayList. Give that a run there. And you can see it added 1 to each value in that ArrayList, and we use the size method to determine the size for that loop. So that is the size method there, and that is the get method there, and that is the set method there. So that's kind of throwing all that stuff together, showing you how it works. Finally, the last thing I want to discuss is searching an ArrayList. This is a very useful thing with ArrayLists that you can't do as easily with typical arrays. So let's create another array of strings, and let's say, or ArrayList I should have said, create an ArrayList of strings. So ArrayList of type string, and we'll call this string of ArrayList equals new ArrayList of type string, parentheses, semicolon. Let's add some values. So we can do string ArrayList.add, and we will add a new string, and we'll just say hello string ArrayList.add, add all again, add hello world string ArrayList.add my name is and Kevin. Alright, so now we have our string array list, and we've added 6 elements to it. Hello world, my name is Kevin. So now we can search for first index of Kevin. So let's do system out print line. Kevin is at index, and we will use the string array list. So we have the array list, and what we are going to use is the index of method, and this will find the first index of the word Kevin that occurs in that array list. So first index of Kevin. We'll put that as a parameter. So that'll find the index value that contains Kevin and the very first one. So if we run that, it says Kevin is at index 5, so that is correct. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I was to add another Kevin in there, so let's say Kevin, hello world, my Kevin is Kevin. We run that, and now the first index is at 3 because it gets the first one, not the last one. Okay, so that is the index of method. Now we can check if a array list contains a certain element using the contains method. So this is the contains method, so let's do that here. So if string ArrayList dot contains, then we give it the object that we want to search for. So let's say if string ArrayList contains the word Bill. System out println found Bill. Else system out println did not find Bill. So let's run that, and of course it'll say did not find Bill because we don't have the word or the string Bill in that array list anywhere. Now if we say hello Bill, my Kevin is Kevin, run that, and now it will say found Bill because the array list does in fact contain the word Bill. So that is searching array lists and finding the index of certain values, and that'll come in handy when we want to work on some of our review exercises, and especially once we get into the next chapter. I believe the first lesson in topic 6 will be using these search methods in array lists. So those are definitely very useful things to understand how to use. Last thing here is the sort method. So the array list has a built-in, or we can use these sort methods to sort arrays. If you remember the last few topics, I discussed algorithms and we learned how to sort an array based from lowest to highest. So let's do that using an algorithm, or not an algorithm, the method that's built into the collections object. So let's test this out. So let's do array list of doubles. Okay, so array list of type double. My double list equals new array list of type double, parentheses, semicolon. Oh, I am typos left and right here. Okay, so now we have a new array list of type double. We'll add some values to that. My double list dot add, and let's add values 10.00. My double list dot add 100.00. That add all method keeps popping up by accident, and I'll actually discuss that in a second as well. My ArrayList.add, and we'll add 50.0, and my doublelist.add, and let's add 50.5. Okay, so now we have an array list of type double, and we are going to sort that. Sort from lowest to highest. So to do this, we can use the collections object, and we do collections.sort. And as you can see, this takes a list as a parameter, and an array list is a type of list. So we can do my double list, and that'll sort it for us, and let's print that out. System out println my double list. So let's print that out twice, once before we sort it and once after we sort it. So before we sort it, it's in the order 10, 100, 50, 50.5. After we sort it, it's in the order 10, 50, 50.5, 100. So you can see that that collection sort method sorted our array list from least to greatest. Very useful thing there. And finally, I do want to show you that add all method that I kept accidentally typing in. So let's get rid of that sort. And now let's create a new array list of type double. And we're going to just call this copy list equals new array list of type double. So all we're going to do is take all the values in my double list and copy them into this copy list. To do that, we can use the add all method. So we can do copylist.add_all, and then we pass it an array list that we want to add to it. So we can add all from my double list, and now we can print out that new copy list. So we're printing out the original my double list, and now we're printing the copy of it. Okay, so now you can see all it did was it took that original array list and it copied it, or added all the elements into that second list. Now if we do this again, let's add it again. We run that, and you can see that it took all the values in the original array list, added them to my double list, and then it did the same thing a second time with add all. So it just kept adding them onto there. So now we have those same values repeated again, and that doubled the size of the array list. So that is the add all method. I believe that's all I wanted to discuss in this topic. Let me just make sure real quick. Yes, I believe I have talked about everything I needed to talk about. So the review exercise for this lesson 5.4 is an average calculator. So create a program which allows the user to enter as many double values as they want. The program should keep accepting input using a loop until the user enters -1. Use an array list to store the values, print out all the values the user has entered, and calculate the average. As always, remember to close the scanner when you are done using it. So please enter your values, type -1 to exit. Please press enter to enter each new value. So in my example, I entered the numbers 10, 20, 30, 40. Then I type -1 to exit. It prints out all those numbers that I entered, and it calculates the average of them all. And of course, the solution is available here on the website. Just click the View Solution button. Thanks for watching. Take care.